Okay, where was Scott? We used to live at a co-op house together. It's called the Black Star Co-op House in Los Angeles. What year was that? What year?
97, 98?
Yeah, 97 or 98.
It was during those years.
Yes, then after the co-op house. Oh, let's tell people what the co-op house is, for people who don't know.
Okay. I barely remember what it was, but it was...
Collective living. Sean McDougall was living with us.
Yeah.
And
I just remember it being your basic anarchist utopian dream where everyone will share everything and we'll have all these resources at the space.
And you guys had, before I moved in there, you guys were having meetings to make puppets for rallies and stuff.
Yeah.
And Anarchist Black Cross used to have meetings there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the house and stuff, fucking long ass 3 hours meetings. I used to fall asleep because it was so fucking long. And I would ask you, hey, what happened at the meeting? Then also Sean McDougall at that time wanted to do more like serious community organizing things. So he was talking to us about that. And I didn't even know anything about Bus Riders Union. And Sean McDougall took me to the thing.
Yeah, Bus Riders Union was the shit at that time. Yeah. They were doing all the anti-racist cross-community organizing.
Crazy thing is, because it was due to like a co-op house, we had a lot of friends come and go. So sometimes it was almost like a weekend. Every day was a weekend, and the weekend it was crazy. You have bands playing there, remember?
Oh yeah, Assault played there.
Not just Assault, like Lifesalt, even hardcore bands, Lifesalt, and of course Anti-Product and all those bands play at the house. But you had so many parties.
I forgot about that.
Oh, what do you mean? We had so many live bands. We had during Solidarity Fest and everything going on.
I feel like we did so many more shows at other spaces. We just every once in a while we're like, oh yeah, let's just have it at the house. But I didn't think.
And then when we have no shows at the house, like Citizen Fish used to come and crash. Touring bands used to just come and stay at our co-op house, and it was like a collective co-op house, like punk rock anarchist co-op house and stuff. Because I met him a long time ago. Was it 90s at Cruise Cafe? You were in a straight edge band at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were organizing like punk bands and vegan straight edge band. Then you got arrested at Animal Rights anti-vivisection rally at the Animal Rights thing.
Yeah, that was in like 96.
Yeah, you gotta tell them who you met in jail, why you got arrested. You get a trip out on this. Tell them who you met in jail.
This is Rick Agnew. He was like, I used to play guitar in DI. That was really weird. But I don't know why.
In jail.
He was...
We don't know what he was in for.
Oh, great. DI, cool, yeah. I never really listened to DI, and I didn't know all the other bands that he was in. Or whatever.
I know, because we're like from a totally, completely different scene. And the shows were different back then, too, because I think our California scene, Southern California scene was different than any other, because we didn't see drugs at our shows, and it was all conscious show back then. Every time there's a show, we had info booth, literatures, bands, and speakers.
Yeah. I also before I started playing with Resist and Exist and come from
he
more
played on Gwangju album.
Yeah, come from more of the hardcore scene, but at that time, the hardcore scene
straight edge.
Straight edge too.
Yeah.
As particularly the straight edge hardcore scene in the city of LA was sort of experiencing a really interesting, I don't know how to say it, like a reevaluation of what it meant to be straight edge and what it meant to connect to social movements and issues around race and gender identity and all those things. And at that time, there was a lot of anti-immigrant sentiment and a lot of organizing in the city that, I think that I don't know, it was just a lot of Latino punk bands springing up and getting involved in this.
Yes.
Yeah, and the straight edge scene also started looking at things and being it's cool to be straight edge, but how important is that? And is that the entire world? And what about all these other issues that are going on? There was a lot of really interesting bands that were not only straight edge, but also held a lot of other cool active things. Oh, I'm talking to you, buddy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking over there. Sorry.
No.
Yes.
I can look at the camera. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't totally grow up in the anarcho-punk scene as much, but I feel like the hardcore scene in LA felt totally different than what I was seeing outside of it, or even what I had known earlier in Orange County, say, which is just such an entirely different place.
And
I miss that sort of cross-cultural experience.
I'm not sure if people know this too. Even at Coop's Cafe, when we have a show during the daytime, he'll be in the back. He'll be in the back doing a workshop about political prisoners with all big circle and stuff.
Yeah.
You do a workshop and stuff, but that stuff like that, we don't see that anymore. If we go to a punk show right now, hey, let's have an open discussion or let's have a meeting. They look at you, what? Are you crazy? They're like in a whole, because people don't understand how our scene was back then too. Because even the Anarchopunk scene, I'm just talking about the 90s too, in the late 90s. We also did a lot of shows with the vegan straight edge bands as well. Not just vegan straight edge, we'll mix it up.
Hip hop bands, Riot Girl bands.
Riot Girl, just everything was just...
Yeah, put them all in one
radical.
show.
And then not only that, we invite organizations and we would think outside of the box.
I thought it was really cool, the Solidarity festivals that would really just be
Ventura too.
One show, but then we'd start it earlier in the day and have a bunch of speakers and have panel discussions.
An open discussion too. We share ideas and everything.
Yeah, those were really dope.
And what about when we went to Ventura and did the Solidarity Fest too? We went to other places and a whole Solidarity Fest. Also, of course, music is important. We bring music in. But just all kinds of workshops and speakers and people would say, oh, this is really inspiring, blah, blah, blah. Even if it gets broken up in LA area, we would immediately have a plan B and move it. That was only one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the old jail. Old jail.
Oh, yeah.
Old jail got broken up. And then crazy. A lot of people don't know this. Scott played on Gwangju album on Resistance Exists. He was playing bass. Jen was a bass player, but she moved to being a second guitar. So during that time, I was telling Scott, take care of the Gwangju album because TNC is coming up. I'm gonna be fucking busy organizing the anarchist gathering and stuff. And then you were doing the Gwangju. I said, take care of all the cover, take care of Resistance because I don't have any time or anything like that. And then you were working with
I had all the time in the world.
No, you were busy too. You were working during the DNC as well, and you didn't come to the anarchist gathering that much because you were more into the what's that word? Fuck, I don't know. You want to work with other groups, more grassroots
I worked
movement.
with the Direct Action Network that was trying to coordinate some of the major marches and stuff during the DNC. Yeah.
Oh, just to scoot up a little. Rewind it a little because a couple of videos back, former political prisoners said there was some snitches in Direct Action Network, but it was all this true, but it was different. I mean, not snitches who work with cops. That's another whole other story.
No, I don't know about that history.
Rampage mentioned it, saying one of the Direct Action Network was saying that, oh, you can't do this, we're gonna report you to the police or something like that. Or they could be fake, try to infiltrate the movement. People who could have said that during the DNC, because DNC was fucking huge. Really big. Even Black Bloc got infiltrated. I'm sure Direct Action Network could have got infiltrated too, and if they weren't really members of it, or they could have say that just to split up organization and try to create hatred, like how they did Quinta Prosta in the 60s or 70s and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how yesterday, how punk was. What's that word? What were you telling me at the picnic? You were saying punk was not that.
Yeah. I mean, it's striking to me, how little punk identifies and connects with the activist world. It's, I mean. Not a big deal for me because I sort of punk doesn't have to play such a huge role in my life in order to like continue to be an activist and work with different communities. I still sort of identify as a punk, but like my activism doesn't have to be centered in my identity as a punk, and
you know what's
it hasn't for a long time, so that's cool.
But you know what's crazy, because we came from the California scene or something, because it was different than other places. Because when people mention anarcho-punk, now it's just music, patches and stuff. But back then, if somebody mentioned anarcho-punk, collective cooperative organizing, meeting, group studies and stuff. And then we went beyond that level. You joined Jericho and work with people from Jericho. Give short information about Jericho.
Jericho is just a like national political prisoner support organization for all political prisoners from all different movements. That, gosh, when did it start? I remember the first year they had it. It started in like the mid 90s. It was like 94, 95. They had like a march in Washington.
Yes.
And we raised a bunch of money. And
he was so active during that time. So even like when Resist and Exist was doing a show, I would say, Scott, explain the fucking songs. Okay, Durba Benoit. I know you don't write, but explain everything. Please talk about all this like songs. I wasn't good at talking on stage at that time. And then
I'm not a fantastic public speaker either, but
yes,
I don't know. I don't get nervous either. So.
And then what was so cool and different was back then when on the Kwangju album lineup, when you were in it, the band was so fucking DIY. You made sure the bands stick to the DIY. DIY is not supposed to wear yourself and stuff.
Yeah, band's got to have some principles. I don't know.
We couldn't play at a showcase theater or anything like that. He wanted a strict DIY benefit show, which is good too, and all that.
I feel like like the ideals of Fugazi were like a really big influence on me of being like
low price shows.
You make it accessible and you draw in more people that way.
Like it came from the heart. From the heart. Like it had meaning. But when he left, we broke all the rules when Scott was gone. We're going, Scott's gone. Let's have some fun time and all that.
Oh my God.
And then we moved to Luna Soul Cafe, collective run vegetarian space, opened by a punk rocker, Tito. He was an old school punk rocker. It was a collective space, no boss, no anything. You lived a block away. We had AG Alternative Gathering collective meeting. We had like about 20 to 25 people meeting at your pad and stuff, walking distance, 1 block away from Luna Soul. Then we had the Lafayette Community Center that was like 2 blocks away, held bunch of like benefit shows there. Then walking distance, arts and action space.
Yeah.
And then it was where the Red Lines station is. So people who don't have cars, they could just go back and forth. And then what the cool thing is now there's no place to hang out really. But back then, like if you had nothing to do, where do you go? Luna Soul Cafe. Then at Luna Soul Cafe, with help with Suin, we brought in like 3 computers. And people could just go online, use computer for free. Then we brought in tons of zines, like a book stacks of like a bookshelf with zines and stuff, so they could just kick back, read.
I mean, also this was like the beginning of the dependency of the internet. I mean, in my opinion, the internet played a big part in the downfall. I mean, I have friends in Mexico that absolutely believe and theorize that like that was the downfall of the amazing collective scene that they had down there. It's just like the ease of connection and communication through the internet kind of destroyed like all the sort of need for people to seek one another out and work together in a way.
I mean, there were some good and bad things about internet too. Networking was easy, but the bad thing was like anonymously people go on the internet. So and so is a blah blah blah, or this person's blah blah. Like a lot of call outs, there's like infiltrator, this and that. Like paranoid people we don't even know. And that was a bad thing about the internet. Good thing about the internet, you can get the message out fucking fast.
It's true.
Fast and stuff. And network and stuff. But there's no more punk rock collectives. Except for members, hedgers, which we started AGC, alternative gathering, collective and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me wonder. This is a serious question that I've like really started to ponder again. It's like, what is the relevancy of punk in social movements? I know that it has this history, and it has this potential still there, but what's the reality of it? Because I feel like I'm, to a certain level, removed from it in my day-to-day here in Pittsburgh, even though I still
We're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm fairly involved in social movements here.
Yeah, that's really excellent. So, but even we're talking about the stuff when he lived in LA too. Then we went to the Coalition Against Police Abuse Office. We had a meeting with them to do the COPPA benefit at the / community support of the Gang Truth Office. We're talking, Michael and stuff. Then when we do stuff like that, or even like work with people from the Black Power movement, a fucking activist, like regular community organizer will come up to us. How'd you guys do that? How'd you do that? And we just all make friends with them, plus we're punk rockers and stuff. I was up in when I first moved to Northern California, one of the You're
really good at making connections, though. I mean, not...
No, it's just not me. It's just all of us, man. All of us, not just me. But when I moved to Northern California, one of the book fair members said, how'd you guys work with the Panthers all these years? How'd you guys do it? We're trying to do that here. I just said, don't just invite them. Just be friends with them. Hang out with them. Man. Go for a coffee. Just be friends. That's what I told him. You don't just... How do you think organizations, hey, let's just hang out, or... I mean, how would you feel? They say, hey, come and speak. Come and speak this and that. And we want to build friendship, not like just inviting somebody for like a political event. That's why we stayed friends with Bloodhound for a long time, till this day, for Rolling 20s. I still talk to them. We're friends in the 90s and stuff like that. And like New Panther Vanguard, till this day, we're all friends. And even way back then, we did, even to the 80s, like punk's been doing, Southern California, we've been doing benefit for American Indian movement, from Iconoclast. They touched, it was like a big inspiration. But now everything changed so much in the punk scene in general. So we were having discussion. That's what we want to make this video about it. Because what I'm trying to say is when people say Anarchopunk, just people think patches or music or festivals and stuff and all that. But people won't do open discussion. They think we're crazy. Go, hey, would you like to do a group study? And people go, what? Are you fucking crazy? I mean, it's hard. I was not even that really educated too. Then I used to invite Lane from Anarchist Black Cross, because it's true, some of those books are so fucking hard. He would give me a one-on-one class workshop and stuff. It was hard, but it's good to learn history as well, because you don't keep repeating the mistake over and over from different movement. And then you also travel. Let's talk about that. You went to IMF and the Seattle WTO. You were traveling, and you quit Resistance. You were going all around to Cuba, everything.
Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah.
You quit your teaching job.
Yeah, totally.
I know that.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you want to know about that? What do you think they should know about that?
Stuff you learn about traveling and the struggle, the movement, the political movement in other countries, the struggle and all that.
I mean, I think the most important thing for me in my travels is just like really learning and seeing Zapatismo like firsthand, and like going to communities in Mexico that were like using the sort of template that Zapatistas had created of like creating autonomous communities, like not accepting support from the government, like getting rid of the police. And like there's a lot of communities around Mexico that sort of, took that process to heart and did it themselves and said, yes, we can be an autonomous community as well. We can find the indigenous principles that we used to organize on and like build community councils and all kinds of stuff. And like for me, politically, Mexico was like a really inspiring example to see like how people organized and stuff that was going on down there, and
Right.
particularly the Zapatista rebellion because of the time period. I mean, I still find myself currently like inspired by that continuation.
Yeah. And can I tell what blew my mind in Mexico? When I went to Toluca, I saw the Anarchist Center there. Guadalajara, I saw the Anarchist Center. Then some of the poor places I went, there was no Xerox machine or anything. But these kids, they were fucking putting out zines, and I was so like blown away. I was going, God, we have so many resources in America, but watching them having an info shop or Anarchist Center doing zines and like radical event, and we have so much resource, and I felt it like, what's that word? I was going spoiled or something.
Yeah.
And our life with clean water and everything.
Yeah.
Life, and they're like struggling and they're doing so much. It like inspired me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it blew my mind and everything.
Yeah, I mean, the level of oppression might arguably slightly higher, but the level of expression of liberty there is, a lot of times like really like, well, people are like, organizing and fighting and doing awesome things.
Another big respect I have for Scott. Food Not Bombs every Sunday. You guys were giving out free foods, free vegan food, and you guys were getting harassed by the police, getting arrested, and Monty getting arrested. All rest in peace to Monty, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Food Not Bombs, but now it's different. I went to check out the Berkeley Food Not Bombs. There's no punks.
Yeah.
Which is cool, Good thing about the internet too is like, back in the long time, even the 80s and early 90s, when you say anarchism, it was all punk rock. But now, good thing about the internet, it went through everything now, like college students or like just regular average people, like all kinds of people know about it and getting involved. That's a good thing.
Totally.
But the downfall is like, there's some like strange things been going on too. Like if you don't, I don't know if you know this, it scares some people off and stuff. Like, if you don't agree with somebody, they get really mad at you, or you can't you can't say certain words. So that's why I saw that change slowly. Punk started getting scared, not coming, not scared. Like they got turned off because they couldn't express themselves. There was too much rules. Because people think, okay, it's an anarchist thing, blah blah blah. Then shouldn't there be less rule? Why there are more rules? And you couldn't really sit down with somebody. You could have a disagreement and have a conversation. Because back then, we could sit down with Bloodhound or with Michael, and we could have in their office and even have a disagreement. We could talk to them and stuff. But I mean, even from my experience, I can't do that in Oakland too. I met people, they'll get all angry, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
People, I don't know, maybe the internet too. Sometimes things, I have to watch it like how I talk, what I say, and all that. On the political belief and all that.
West Coast sounds crazy. I hear. I don't know why. I have friends
there's some stuff I cannot talk about.
You cannot talk about. I don't know. I have friends in Seattle that say similar things. I don't experience that here in Pittsburgh somehow. No, not really. No. I mean,
maybe because it's like more big. It's like a big city, and there's so much. What do you call it? People coming from resistant community, or so much pressure.
Yeah.
So like the anger and everything.
But there's a lot of different circles that maybe don't overlap and aren't connected, and when they do, they're not. I don't know. Yeah, it sounds really challenging.
Yes. There's more to it, but I can't talk about other things. How do you feel now by moving here? That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's not as diverse of a place, but it's definitely like a place that has a lot more like I just feel like it's a friendlier place. Maybe that's the best and easiest way to say it, is that like people are more open and honest in and can be genuinely friendly or genuinely like.
He showed me autonomous space too. I'm gonna post that after this video, the autonomous space. And he'll give a tour and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you were telling me too, a lot of punks have kids in friendly environment here and all that. And that I tripped out on that. And then we met with our old friend Babs, and we went to a vegan cafe owned by punk rock couples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was the name of that cafe?
Onion Maiden.
Onion Maiden, yes. And right next to it, there's a independent record store.
Oh yeah.
What was it called? The guy from Skullfest.
Skull Records.
Skull Records.
Yeah.
This is my second time here.
So do I.
And then we did that crazy 31-day tour.
In 2001.
And 31-day tour, and only two or 3 days off. It was insane. Shows every night, and he booked half of it.
I booked it all.
You booked it all. I thought you and he booked.
No,
it all.
I mean I got help. I was like, I don't know the people in this place, but I still like did it all.
And it was interesting because you booked some of the show with the hardcore bands and stuff like that. Because I didn't know too much about the whole.
I mean, I didn't really get to choose who we were booking with. I just found the promoter and said, yeah. I mean, I don't know. You go to like Little Rock or someplace, I don't know. I didn't know anyone from Little Rock really, so, you know, who are the promoters? If they're into you, they get to choose. You know what I mean? But we have that a lot at Babyland because like people want to have shows at our space, but we're not promoters. We just have a space. And like to share it with people, so you know you got to have someone to be like, okay, I'm gonna actually put a show together, put bands together that make sense, and make a flyer of it. I don't have nothing to do with that. We're just like trying to have a space where you can build community, and people who are good at promoting can do that. That's their thing.
And here's something funny too. In 2001, we're about to go on tour with Conflict. I had to beg you guys, could we please play with Conflict? You and Jeff, because they were so fucking DIY doing low price show and doing nothing but fucking beneficial. I go, please, can we go tour with Conflict? And I made them say yes. But it was cool meeting all these, meeting these small collective, like, you know, not big or anything, struggling. This is during the 31-day tour and stuff. And going to the Liberation Collective and
that was cool.
And all that stuff, man. Even Portland, they were doing some great stuff back then. And they had their own info shop and everything, like with all this reading material, anarchist material. But what blows my mind now, if I go to punk rock events, I don't see that much literature or books. It's all just vinyls, records, music, and shirts. I mean, which is good, but sometimes it's like really good to go home with some knowledge and information because you don't hear the
bands talk about anything between the
bands
songs. It's because we used to strongly depoliticized.
We used to go to shows when we don't even play, and back then bands would explain their song, what it means, and like audience will listen and stuff. But like not just once, like 4 songs they'll talk, 3 songs they'll explain it and talk about it. A lot of bands don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they do, but it's rare if it does. Very rare.
Why do you think that is?
What?
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We got to ask the new generation because...
You don't have any theories about it? I guess
I don't know. I don't know. Wait. Why do I think that is? I mean, I don't really talk that much anymore, too, because once you left, my mojo kind of left. No, I'm just kidding. I can't really talk that much either. Maybe everyone's different. Like, some people could, like, explain songs or talk on stage. I don't really have that either. That's why I would tell Scott, you got to fucking talk between songs when bands play. That's why you were talking a lot. Because I made you talk all the time and explain the songs and all that.
It's hard. I've always felt like really inadequate too. But it's funny because like the marching band I'm a part of, which we mostly just like play demonstration benefits. I do the talking in that band too because I can kind of articulate the vision of the collective spirit behind the band and stuff. And I don't think I'm that great at it, but I can succinctly, make a very simple message. It's not super eloquent.
This is really funny. Like I don't know how many years ago, Zounds was playing in LA. We're opening up for them at Part-Time Punks, 18 and Over Club. This is something he would never ever do. But anyways,
are you kidding? I love Zounds more than I love Conflict.
Oh, you were kind of the 18 and Over Club. But anyways, it was 18
It's weird because here it's like there all the shows are at bars and stuff, and I was like thinking about that. I'm just like, dude, if this was like a show when I was here, we would all be out from boycotting it.
I
right
know.
now.
We were boycotting high price shows and shit, or bar shows or anything. It was all fucking benefit for a cause, benefit for a cause. But anyway.
But if it wasn't all ages, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would be
all
half
ages.
of our audience that couldn't get into the
I
fucking
know.
show. Like here,
But
that punk is just an older thing too.
Right. Plus,
Like,
we
there
got
aren't that
older.
many young
we got
kids.
older. All our friends have family.
The show that you guys
You know
played,
that.
there were more like 40-something people than there were like, well, it was 18 and over. So we don't,
Right.
you know what I mean? But I didn't see any 18-year-olds outside being like, man, I wish I could get in.
Right. It was all older punks and stuff. But okay, back to the sound.
Punk's gonna retire soon.
You want to hear something funny? I have my friend Ralph side of the stage.
I
go,
don't know.
you remember Ralph? Because
Yeah.
he fucking reads so many books and stuff. Okay, Ralph, tell me all the stuff what I should talk about because I want to talk more important issues. It's a big show. Ralph was telling me all these fucking blah blah blah. Talk this, talk that, talk that. I go, why don't you just go over there and tell? I go, no, you could do it. You could do it. I got on the mic. Guess what happened? It fucking all vanished.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about, oh fuck. I got so bad after that. I go, fuck, I should have said stuff. But it's just a funny story. We wanted to
You
share.
should have just
stuff.
got Ralph up there and been like, Ralph's gonna tell you all about this song.
He left the Book Fair Collective because he moved. He moved.
Dang.
Oh, the original Los Angeles Anarchist Book Fair Collective came from the Southern California anarchist gathering and stuff. And Ralph, he has a background of punk rock, and plus all the original, not all of them, like Colleen or Joaquin, we all have punk rock backgrounds and stuff, which was really cool, and that was a good thing though. All right, so this is the video blog. We'll talk more next year. Okay, let's talk about this next year. How much change has been made.
Okay.
All right.